Imagine two people. Both of them earn the exact same salary every year of their working lives. Both of them live in the same city with the same cost of living. Both of them work for about 40 years, from their 20s all the way into their 60s. At the end of their careers, after 4 decades of work, something dramatic happens. One of them retires with almost nothing. They have very little savings. They depend on Social Security. They worry about money every single day. The other person retires with over $1 million. They have investments. They have options. They have freedom. No lottery winning. No inheritance from a rich relative. No secret business that took off. Just one simple habit that made all the difference over 40 years. And today I am going to show you exactly what that habit is. Because the difference between being broke at 65 and being financially free almost always comes down to one decision you make today. Not next year. Not when you have more money. Today. And the crazy part about all of this is that most people already know what they should do. They have heard it before. They understand it in theory. They just never actually start doing it. So in this video, I am going to walk you through the exact strategy that someone like Elon would use if he started from zero today. No experience investing. No rich parents to help him. No insider knowledge about the market. Just a normal income from a normal job and a simple plan that anyone can follow. By the end of this video you will understand why investing is necessary, what to actually invest in, where to open accounts, and how ordinary people quietly build million-dollar portfolios over time without taking huge risks. Let us start with the most important question first. There is a thief in your life and you probably do not even think about it. You cannot see this thief. You cannot catch him. You cannot stop him with locks or alarms. And he steals your money every single day without you noticing. That thief is called inflation. Imagine you have $50,000 sitting in a regular bank account. You feel safe because the money is there. You feel responsible because you saved it. But inflation is slowly reducing what those dollars can actually buy. If inflation is just 2% per year, which is actually a relatively low and normal rate, something happens to your money over time. After 10 years, that $50,000 will only buy what about $41,000 used to buy. After 20 years, it buys what $33,000 used to buy. After 30 years, it buys roughly $27,000 worth of goods and services. You did not spend the money. You did not waste it. You were responsible and saved it. But it lost almost half of its purchasing power anyway. This is why saving money alone is not enough to build a secure future. To protect yourself, your money needs to grow faster than inflation. And that brings us to the next concept. There is a financial superpower that is available to absolutely anyone with a bank account and a little bit of discipline. It is called compound growth. Here is how it works in plain language. Let us say Elon decides to invest $500 every single month. That is not a huge amount for most people with normal jobs. It is about $16 a day. If he puts that money into a savings account earning 4% interest, which is higher than most savings accounts pay, after 30 years he might have around $346,000. That is not bad. That is real money. But now imagine the same $500 invested in the stock market with an average return of 10% per year. That is roughly what the market has returned over long periods historically. After 30 years, that same $500 per month becomes roughly $1.1 million. Same monthly investment. Same amount of time. 3 times the result. Why does this happen? Because compound growth means your money starts earning money, and then that new money earns money too. It is like a snowball effect. At around 10% growth, your money doubles about every 7 years. And over decades, that simple math becomes life-changing. People invest in many different things. Some buy real estate. Some buy gold. Some buy cryptocurrency. Some buy art or collectibles. And some of those things can work well for certain people. But for most ordinary people who just want to build wealth over time, stocks have three huge advantages that are hard to beat. First, there is liquidity. Liquidity just means how quickly you can turn something into cash. If Elon owns a house worth $400,000 and he needs money tomorrow for an emergency, selling that house takes months. He has to list it, show it, negotiate, wait for inspections, wait for financing. It is a long process. But if he owns $400,000 in an index fund, he can sell it in seconds with a few clicks on his phone. That matters when life throws surprises at you. Second, there is accessibility. You do not need thousands of dollars to start investing in stocks. You can open an account and buy shares with $10. No license required. No property inspections. No negotiating with sellers. Just open an account and buy. Third, there is long-term growth. Over very long periods of time, the stock market has returned about 10% annually on average. Yes, it crashes sometimes. It drops 20 or 30 or even 50% in bad years. But every single crash in history has eventually been followed by recovery and new highs. Long-term investors who stay patient through the scary times almost always win in the end. Many people who are new to investing think that the way to get rich is by picking individual stocks. They try to find the next Apple or Tesla or Nvidia or Amazon. They read articles about which stocks are hot. They watch videos about which companies are going to explode. Sometimes this works for a few people. But most of the time, it does not. Even professional investors who do this for a living, who have teams of analysts and access to information you will never have, struggle to beat the market consistently. Year after year, most professional fund managers actually perform worse than a simple index fund. So instead of trying to guess which companies will win, smart investors do something different. They buy index funds. An index fund is a very simple idea. Instead of buying one company, you buy a tiny piece of hundreds or thousands of companies all at once. When Elon buys one share of an S&P 500 index fund, he automatically owns small pieces of Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and Meta and Berkshire Hathaway and hundreds of other companies. If one of those companies goes out of business, it barely matters because it is just a tiny slice of the whole portfolio. But if the economy grows over time, if companies earn profits and increase in value, Elon grows right along with them. And the best part about index funds is that they are extremely cheap to own. Some of them charge fees as low as 0.03% per year. That is almost nothing. You keep almost all of your returns. The most important factor in building wealth through investing is not picking the right stocks. It is not timing the market perfectly. It is time. Pure and simple. Imagine two different investors. One starts investing at age 25. The other waits until age 35 to start. That younger investor gets 10 extra years of compounding. 10 extra years of growth on top of growth. Over a 40-year career, those 10 extra years can mean the difference between having $500,000 and having $2 million. Because compounding accelerates over time. The money you invest early has decades to multiply. The money you invest later has much less time. This is why the earlier you start, the easier wealth becomes. You do not have to invest huge amounts. You just have to start early and stay consistent. Beginners always ask the same question. Should I wait for the market to drop before I start investing? It seems like a smart question. Why buy when prices are high when you could wait and buy cheaper? The problem is that nobody knows when the market will drop. Not the experts on television. Not the people writing newsletters. Not the richest investors in the world. Nobody. Markets hit all-time highs all the time. But those highs are often followed by even higher highs later. Waiting for a crash usually means missing years of growth while you sit on the sidelines. Instead, smart investors use a method called dollar cost averaging. This just means investing a fixed amount of money every single month regardless of what the market is doing. When prices are high, you buy fewer shares. When prices are low, you buy more shares. Over time, this smooths out their ups and downs. And it removes the stress of trying to guess the perfect moment. Here is the single habit that creates more millionaires than almost anything else. Automation. Instead of deciding every single month whether to invest, whether you feel like it, whether the market looks good, Elon sets up automatic transfers. The money leaves his bank account automatically on the same day every month. It buys an index fund automatically. Every single month without fail. No thinking required. No emotions involved. No guessing about whether this is the right time. Just consistency. And consistency over decades is what builds wealth. At some point during your investing journey, the market will fall. Maybe it drops 20%. Maybe it drops 40%. Maybe in a really bad crisis, it drops 50%. When that happens, many investors panic. They see their account balances shrinking. They feel scared. They sell to stop the pain. They lock in their losses and get out. But history shows us something very important. Every single major crash in history has eventually been followed by recovery. The market goes down, but then it goes back up. The investors who stayed invested through the scary times, who kept buying even when prices were low, became wealthier than those who panicked and sold. Patience is the real advantage. If Elon started from zero today, his strategy might look something like this. Step 1. If his employer offers a 401k with a company match, he contributes at least enough to get the full match. That is free money. Step 2. He builds an emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of expenses in a regular bank account so he never has to sell investments in a crisis. Step 3. He opens a Roth IRA and contributes as much as he can each year. Step 4. Inside that account, he buys low-cost index funds that track the entire market. Step 5. He sets up automatic monthly investing so it happens without thinking. Step 6. Every time his income goes up, he increases his contributions. Then he repeats this process for 20 or 30 years. That is it. No complicated strategies. No options trading. No timing the market. Just discipline and consistency. Wealth is not built through luck. It is not built through finding the one magical stock that goes up 1,000%. It is built through small decisions repeated consistently for decades. Most people understand this on some level. But they wait. They wait until they have more money. They wait until the market feels safer. They wait until life is less complicated. And years pass. The people who win financially are not necessarily smarter than everyone else. They are not better at picking stocks. They simply start earlier and stay consistent longer. So if you take only one action after watching this video, let it be this. Open an investment account. Start investing even a small amount. Let time do the heavy lifting. Because your future self, the version of you who is 65 years old and looking back on your life, will be incredibly grateful for a decision that only takes about 5 minutes to begin today. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Every week we break down money, investing, and financial freedom in ways that are simple enough for anyone to understand, even kids. And if you want to build real wealth, remember this. You do not need to be lucky. You do not need to be a genius. You just need to start. Thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next video.